KCTV5 News presents Guns in the Heartland. In-depth reporting on the gun debate.
It's a topic that both unites us and divides.
KCTV5 is going beyond the headlines of the gun debate. Tonight, we are closely examining an issue that runs deep in our community. In this half hour, we'll take a look at the controversy surrounding college students packing heat on campus. We'll also look at the very latest gun safety technology on the market and a new approach to keep kids safe around firearms.
But first, what happens when young kids find a gun? You hope they do the right thing and leave it alone.
But every year, tragic accidents happen.
Everything to a child is a toy, whether it be the box that the toy came in or the toy itself. It's a toy.
Tonight, KCTV5 teams up with police, parents, and children for an eye-opening reality check. Here's investigative reporter Ingie Racono.
You're looking at some adorable volunteers, boys and girls ages 3 to 7, who agreed to help out with what they thought was a toy test. But their parents know the truth. This is a safety check.
From a distance, that looks like a Desert Eagle, which is a very high-capacity handgun.
Chief Fleming hid the realistic replica in the couch. The kids rush in to play with the toys as their parents watch on monitors. They counted money, played with stuffed animals, and pretended like all kids do. Many just inches away from the fake pistol.
I own a gun.
Some of our parents are gun owners. Some aren't. All have talked with their kids about guns and safety. But they didn't prep the kids for this test.
I just shot you down.
Parents watched as that hidden gun slid to the floor. Now take a look at the kids. Most are standing. But 3-year-old Jordan plays on the floor. She has a truck. But then something else catches her eye. So she stands up, walks over, and finds something new to play with. That's under the couch.
Yeah, my 3-year-old touched it first.
When Jordan pulls the trigger, nothing happens. She quickly loses interest and drops it on the floor.
Well, I'm thinking I've taught my kids the right thing to do, and they didn't do it.
In about 30 seconds, another kid spots it.
First thing he did was put his finger on the trigger.
Josh, age 7, wants to open the gun. He figures it out. At times, the gun is aimed at another child.
Yes.
His mom is stunned.
I didn't expect this. I mean, I'm completely shocked.
A gun? Where'd you find that gun?
And then 6-year-old Luke wants his turn.
I did not expect this at all, and it broke my heart when I saw it. And we're going to have a long conversation.
The parents know the gun is fake, but it's still tough to watch. In 90 seconds, the gun changes hands 3 times, from Jordan to Josh to Luke.
All of the other children were just playing mentally. We could all just see bang, in our heads, accident, And it's scary.
There are tears and hugs, and the parents realize not one kid in this group is concerned about that gun.
Give me that gun. No!
All the kids assume it's a toy.
I opened it.
In this case, they're right. We bring out Chief Mike Fleming.
Hey, is this okay to play with?
He talks with the kids about gun safety. If you find a gun, don't even touch it. Get an adult.
Did you think it might be real?
Take another look at the video. Here's what Chief Fleming noticed.
The first place that their finger went was onto the trigger.
Kids do what they see in movies and on TV.
I'm gonna aim for you.
They don't just hold guns, they instantly shoot them.
Those things happen in a second.
And then he could have been shot.
They thought it was a toy. They don't know how powerful that gun is, that it can take someone's life.
So what do you tell your kids about guns? The National Rifle Association actually has a program that teaches children what to do if they see a gun.
A gun.
I've never seen a real gun before.
I dare you to touch it.
The Eddie Eagle cartoon series teaches kids that guns are not toys and what to do if they ever find one, and if they're sure that it's real.
And the 4 steps are these. If a child encounters a gun or what appears to be a gun, whether they think it's real or not, stop, don't touch it, run away, and tell an adult.
That program launched in 1988, and the NRA says it has reached more than 28 million children. You'll find a link to it on this story on our website.
The cartoon seems kind of effective. As far as what we did, the experiment that you were a part of, how long did it take for those kids to find that gun?
It took them 7 minutes and 30 seconds to find the gun. And at first, when it fell, we wondered if the kids would find it. But down there low on the ground, that's where kids play.
Yeah, wow. And again, they certainly were not concerned about it.
No.
Yeah. Angie, thank you. And while education is key, there is so much technology on the market aimed right at preventing accidental shootings. I actually met with the Johnson County mother who's a shooting instructor and the wife of an Overland Park police officer. She showed me what she keeps in her own home to keep their firearms out of the hands of their daughter.
The Generation 2 break.
At Center Fire Shooting Sports in Olathe, Corinne Mosier teaches families about gun safety. She's a mom herself and the wife of an Overland Park police officer.
Every time that there's an incident where a child or some individual gains access to a firearm and then they're injured or unintentionally injure someone else, this is what makes it so tragic, is that they are almost all preventable.
A 2015 survey found a child 3 years old or younger got their hands on a gun and shot someone 43 times. 15 of those cases were deadly, and 13 toddlers accidentally killed themselves. Only a few weeks ago, at this home in Grandview, a 4-year-old little girl shot herself in the leg. And court records show her grandmother, Tapra Barnett, left a loaded gun under a couch. Nearly every gun sold by a reputable dealer comes with its own lock, and often a case that locks too. And now new technology could allow owners to keep a gun loaded and still prevent deadly accidental shootings.
Today I'm going to show you a device that's been in development for over 20 years.
Biometric technology, such as IntelliGun, can not only prevent a child from shooting the gun, but even stop a criminal from grabbing and using a police officer's weapon. They're also called smart guns. This particular product is a retrofit kit put on your handgun. It will only fire if it recognizes the authorized user's fingerprint. When we caught up with Mosier, she had just gotten back from the largest gun show in the country in Las Vegas. She saw a number of new products, so we asked her about biometric technology, something she has used in the past.
Biometrics tend not to work for every person the same. For instance, it would read our safe would read my husband's fingerprint just fine every time, then occasionally it wouldn't read mine. It's cool, but it is not reliable yet. It doesn't work every time yet.
Mosier prefers radio frequency identification. It's cheaper, and she showed us some of her favorite safety devices.
I'm actually wearing the Generation 2 bracelet. So what I'll do is I'll just wave that over the top and it opens instantly.
The bracelet looks like a Fitbit. The safe also costs around $200. This gun vault is on her nightstand. It opens with a chip, which can be put in a card or on an iPhone or worn as a bracelet. It costs about $250.
The point being, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money to make sure that your firearms are secure, so there's really just no excuse for not having your guns locked up.
Besides storing firearms correctly, Mosier says it's the responsibility of gun owners to get trained.
It's on the adult. It's on the person who was supposed to be responsible and wasn't. Children are children. You know, I mean, we're responsible for their safety.
Center Fire offers free training for families. In fact, most gun shops offer training. And if you're curious about any of the products you saw in this story, we have more details about them on our website at KCTV5.com. Parents right here in the metro area are taking a very different approach to gun safety. They're teaching their kids how to load and shoot a gun, where they say this knowledge could actually save a life.
Students packing heat will soon be a reality on Kansas college campuses. How universities are scrambling to make changes and what faculty is saying about the law.
You're watching Guns in the Heartland, a KCTV5 News special.
Earlier, you saw what can happen when children find a gun they think is a toy.
You also saw all the new technology that's on the market to prevent accidental shootings.
Now we want to show you a group of parents taking a very different approach, teaching kids to load and shoot a gun.
Investigative reporter Angie Racona reports now from Lee's Summit.
Slow press.
This is Dalton's first shot. He's 10 years old.
Pull back and let go.
You chambered it.
This was fun.
Was this your idea or his idea?
His idea.
Dalton hit the black his first try and wants everyone to know he's pretty good for a beginner. His dad hopes this class will keep him safe.
In real life, kids run into situations where maybe they're exposed to firearms. They need to know what to do, how to handle them in a safe manner, how to handle situations and stay out of trouble.
Have you ever shot a gun?
No.
Just for safety. He's over at a lot of friends' house, and you just never know.
That's where you want to focus on.
Parents and kids watch safety videos, learn how to load guns, and then shoot.
We have a lot of friends who have guns in the house, and they just tell their kids not to touch them.
Parents in this class take a different approach. Don't make guns taboo. Learn about them.
You can never let a kid near a gun, but eventually somebody's going to find one. It's inevitable.
What's the first thing we do as mothers when we have children around swimming? We drag them to swimming lessons because we don't want our children to drown.
And that's the idea behind this class. Gun lessons, just like swim lessons.
At first, they worried me a little bit, but they don't anymore.
At Frontier Justice, kids must be 48 inches tall, and you need a parent. You can bring your own gun or rent one from the range.
At first, I was scared, but then it was actually pretty fun once I started shooting.
Many gun ranges in our area offer kids classes. You can even do birthday parties. At one range, sometimes they use ketchup bottles so the kids get the idea that guns do damage. Once a bullet leaves a gun, there's going to be a consequence.
Yeah,
and with ketchup, you see it.
Yeah, you certainly do. And they're pretty affordable, the classes are.
They
right?
are.
Okay, and that's good for families if they're looking.
Absolutely.
That's the way they want to handle this.
Thanks, Angie.
Thanks.
Well, the largest Methodist church in the country isn't shying away from the gun debate. It was the focus of an entire sermon. How a Johnson County pastor is guiding his flock on one of the most controversial issues.
And college students in Kansas can soon carry guns to class. What some are doing to try and change the law before it goes into effect.
You're watching Guns in the Heartland, a KCTV5 News special.
Universities in Kansas are preparing for students to carry concealed guns on campus, which begins in the summer of 2017.
And that means schools must soon allow it, or they will be breaking the law. KCTV5's Emily Rittman spent time with people who have strong opinions on both sides of the issue.
Soon, any student over the age of 21 who meets eligibility requirements could carry a pistol like this or a revolver like this to class as long as it's concealed. Some students are hoping the law will change before that becomes a reality. Other students are ready to carry to class. In Kansas, a classmate or roommate in the dorm could soon be carrying underneath their pant leg, jacket, or shirt. Michael Hernandez lost a loved one to suicide. He says there is no need for guns on campus.
This is just going to increase the instances of suicide.
He's also concerned about heated roommate arguments inside dorms.
We may or may not get along for the entire year, and I was like, this is just going to escalate those roommate fights. How much would this situation change between the two individuals if one of them had access to a gun right there in their room?
I refuse to teach in a classroom where there are guns allowed.
Graduate student Megan Jones, who teaches English, worries that staff will be in danger.
One of my main concerns is students who are angry. I think a lot of faculty will leave. I think a lot of students who would otherwise decide to come to KU will choose other institutions out of state.
Student Keith Strader disagrees. He is an advocate for self-defense and weapons training.
The type of people who carry on a day-to-day basis are those that take the time to actually train and know their skills and limits.
He says students have every right to protect themselves in the most effective way possible, especially on campus.
When things go bad, they happen really fast, and when seconds count, cops are minutes away. It's called personal protection for a reason, because you have to protect yourself.
He believes responsible gun owners could protect students during rampages like the shootings in Oregon and Virginia.
This isn't just about active shooter scenarios. It's also about the students who are on campus at home or are on campus late and walking home.
The divisive issue that has led to protests has both sides hoping for very different outcomes. If the university wants to keep guns like these out of a certain area or building, the law requires that they install security screening measures similar to those used at courthouses, which can be costly. Reporting from Olathe, Emily Rittman, KCTV5 News.
Missouri could follow Kansas. Right now, there is a bill in the Missouri Senate which would allow conceal and carry on college campuses.
One of the biggest issues in the gun debate is keeping firearms out of the hands of the mentally ill. Right now, federal law states a gun cannot be sold to someone who has been ruled mentally defective by a court or someone who has been forcefully committed to a mental institution. When that happens, the person is supposed to be entered into the National Instant Criminal Background Check System. The NRA says that's simply not happening.
We know that there are more than a dozen states that submit fewer than 100 records.
Take a look at this map. This is the number of records submitted by each state since 1998 up until April of last year. Some states have submitted as few as just one mental health record into the database. Kansas has submitted over 5,900. Missouri has sent more than 42,000.
But the current federal law wouldn't have prevented the mass shootings at Virginia Tech, Newtown, and San Bernardino. The Brady campaign says it's hard to balance someone's mental health and their Second Amendment right.
Impossible. Mental health people say to predict which person who has a serious mental condition might someday do something dangerous with a gun.
There are two bills in Congress that focus on guns and mental illness, and we'll keep you updated as they make their way through the House and the Senate.
The largest Methodist church in the country recently took on the gun debate. The pastor of Church of the Resurrection in Leawood made gun rights and gun control the focus of his Sunday sermon. Adam Hamilton believes both sides can reach some middle ground, and the church is hoping to guide its flock in that direction.
So for those members of our church who have guns and who have been frustrated by their friends or their family members who advocate for more regulation, they might be able to say, hey, I heard my pastor talk about this, and I think this is a place we could probably find some common ground. I mean, wouldn't it be great if people walked out of church and were able to connect with their friends who see this differently and say, hey, we could agree on this, and maybe bring them together as opposed to, and then work together for some common sense things that might make our society safer.
We talked with parishioners after the service who said the sermon generated a healthy discussion.
Kind of bring the left wing and the right wing, bring them to a conversation, because that's what's missing, right?
More than 5,000 members of the congregation answered a survey, and in it, nearly 9 out of 10 gun owners said they favored some kind of safety training on how to handle a gun before you can get a concealed carry permit. We'll meet the fastest growing demographic in the gun industry, women. How companies are going out of their way to cater to ladies looking to pack heat.
You're watching Guns in the Heartland, a KCTV5 News special.
Women are becoming the fastest and most sought-after demographic for the gun industry.
There are stores all over the metro that cater specifically to women. Anchor Carolyn Long explains how a whole new wave of women are taking control of their own safety.
Ask a woman what's in her purse and you'll get a whole mixed bag of answers. But the women you're about to meet say they're ready to reload this purse with some tools for self-defense.
What if somebody jumped out? Boom!
Take a good look around this concealed carry class at Frontier Justice in Lee's Summit. Notice anything missing? Men. This is for women only.
Let's move on to pistol knowledge, safe gun handling.
And sitting right here, front and center, is a mother and daughter.
It was a Christmas present from my dad.
Jamie Gleim of Raymore and her mom, Lisa Dawson, signed up for much the same reasons. Jamie's husband is in the military, so she's often home alone with their 3- and 5-year-old daughters.
My husband travels a lot. I'm home a lot, alone with a little dorky, and she wouldn't hurt anybody. So I want to feel safe.
For Lisa, it was a natural fit.
We hunt, we fish, and so we ride motorcycles. And so this is, the last on my bucket list as far as, defense.
But Jamie was far slower to warm up to the concept after her husband discussed the idea of keeping his 9mm Glock in the home.
I was really against it at first. It was very scary.
Absolutely love it.
But after learning of women in the news being targeted and defenseless, she not only warmed up to the idea, but now she's shopping for a gun of her own.
So I'll have to ask him about that one. I want something just a little bit lighter. I like the 9mm, I like the Glock and everything. I just want something a little bit lighter for myself.
As bullets fly here at Frontier Justice, the trend can be heard loud and clear. The fastest growing demographic of gun owners is women, specifically between the ages of 18 and 34.
At least half of our business are female shooters.
Bren Brown owns Frontier Justice, which opened about a year ago, with females clearly in mind.
We have kind of a jewelry store designed to our casework, and it's purposeful. It's so women feel comfortable.
These are the different parts of a bullet.
And their female-only classes, like this one, are continually sold out.
A lot of men have a lot of knowledge about it, and they don't want to feel like they're stupid or they can't ask questions.
It's definitely less intimidating.
Carolyn Long, KCTV5 News.
The gun industry is also manufacturing guns specifically tailored to women, like you saw in that story. They're smaller, more lightweight, and come in a variety of styles and colors. And our coverage of this important issue continues right now online at KCTV5.com.
On our homepage, click on the Guns in the Heartland tab, and there you'll find all the stories you've seen tonight, important links to learn about gun safety, and also where each of the presidential candidates stand on gun control. It's a place you can educate yourself and join in on the conversation.
And we want to thank you for joining us for our special Guns in the Heartland.
Have a good night.